Thank you all so much for coming today. It's so good to see you, my Dalnims. In summer, makeup melts and smudges easily. It's already hot, and it's the worst when makeup breaks down, making your face a mess. So today, I'll be showing you how to achieve a summer makeup look that won't smudge or melt off. It'll be fine even with sweat and oil. Just trust haeni and follow along. Let's start, go! First, for the base, I'll show two methods. You can choose what you prefer. The first method is using concealer only on areas you want to cover. Because if you apply it everywhere, your skin feels suffocated, and when sweat makes it wear off, it's very noticeable and looks messy. So we'll just apply concealer to specific areas. It feels light, comfortable, and fading isn't noticeable. I'll be using Makeup Forever's concealer, which is waterproof. Once it dries, it's very waterproof, making it great for summer use. Its formula is thin, yet offers great coverage. Pricey, but it's worth it. And it also has a brush attached to it. I'll just put some on the back of my hand, then coat the brush evenly. Coat it all over like this. I'll apply it to half my face. Just on areas to cover, like where pores are large, I'll swipe it. Don't use a color that's too bright. It'll look patchy if you apply it to specific spots. Choose a color matching your skin tone. No bright colors, please. If there's no perfect match, you can make the darker and lighter shade, or just go a little darker. A slightly darker shade looks less streaky. If your forehead and cheeks are red, it can look quite flushed. I applied a thin layer here. Don't apply it too thickly. Then the applied and unapplied areas will differ too much. Apply it thinly. You just want to cover enough to make your skin look a little clearer. Next, my chin also has some redness, so I'll apply it lightly up to my philtrum, then use a bit more to cover my nose pores all at once. Too much product. Use less. Never too much. If price is an issue, this Daiso Drop V concealer is great. It's affordable, has great coverage, and applies smoothly, which I love. And for a brush like this, Philomilly's 811 is similar. You can apply it with a dense brush like this. A thin yet high coverage concealer is ideal. Even with good coverage, a stiff formula is hard to use as a foundation. If applied too thick, it can look patchy. Drop V is good, and BBA concealer applies thin, making it great as a foundation substitute. So I recommend BBIA or Drop V. For very red areas, add more and gently pat. You're gently layering it. Pat lightly. My eye area is very red, so I'll also cover dark circles. And if you apply too much around your eyes, your eye makeup will smudge. Applying too much to the inner eye, outer corner, or under eye will 100% smudge and totally mess up your eye makeup. It smudges. Why does my eye makeup always smudge and ruin my skin? It's because you apply too much product here. You should barely apply it to your eyelids, outer corners, under eyes, and inner corners. I cover dark circles this way, but I totally skip the outer corners. Don't apply it all the way out here. Just applying it around this area connects the skin tone. You're blending the edges by applying around them. Tapping with a brush makes streaks vanish. If pressure is hard, brush strokes occur. Just spread it with a brush, then pat with a puff. Skin is clean now, right? For dark blemishes, I use this same concealer with a small brush. The area you intend to conceal and the brush size must be identical. The concealer is the same, just tap it on with a different brush and it's covered. It's too hard? Then use a concealer pencil. Also, make sure the concealer pencil isn't too bright. This area has a lot of redness, so I need to gently tap to cover it here too. Just gently and lightly cover, so your skin won't feel heavy. Looks like my skin, doesn't it? Very natural. You might think, with such high coverage, won't it look thick if I only use this? But a thin, small amount of this high coverage product on specific spots actually looks much sheerer. And this waterproof concealer, which doesn't rub off easily, makes an excellent base for the summer. On the other side, I'll use a cushion. Some don't want to just spot conceal. I dislike dullness, so I want full coverage. Some of you feel that way. Or if you have redness all over, you might want to cover everything. For those, I'll show a base routine on this side. I'm using MAC's Long Wear Cushion. Since it's summer, long wear products are best. You should pick a semi-matte or matte cushion over something glossy. I'll press into the cushion like this, dab it on my cheeks, forehead, chin, and nose, and let the rest soak into the makeup puff. I let it soak to moisten the puff, and the key is to apply it only to the face's center. I swipe my cheekbones, then pat them, and right after that, I apply it between my brows. Then between the brows, the forehead center, and chin. Finally, I'll sweep my nose to fill in the pores, and there'll only be a tiny bit left on the puff, right? With that, I'll lightly connect under my brows, and I won't apply to the outer areas. It's hot, so we get sticky and sweat. Makeup rubs off, especially on the outer parts of the face. Applying it all over not only makes your skin feel heavy, but if it melts off with sweat, it looks super messy. You'll have foundation streaks running down your face, and touch-ups become a real headache. So I skip this part, but I'll still cover it. I applied it only to this front central area. You can't even tell. I didn't choose a brighter shade. I selected one that perfectly matches my skin tone. So there's no visible line. It's hard to find the right match. Use natural shades, or slightly brighter. When the center is bright and the sides are darker, it adds dimension. This area can be brighter. If you apply a dark shade only here, it looks awkward because this part is bright and that part is dark. It's better to have this area bright and the outer parts dark. Pat it to seamlessly blend the edges. I didn't add more, just used the remaining amount that I had absorbed. So just a tiny bit comes out. Patting it like this helps that small amount naturally blend the edges. And as you can see, I applied a very thin layer. From a distance, it just needs to look a bit neater. Don't try to cover everything, apply it thinly. That's how it truly stays put. When applied this thinly, it won't budge, no matter how hot it gets. If it breaks down a short time later, it's because it's too thick. If it's thick, it'll break down. It must be this thin. See this thinness? No difference where applied or not. Apply a thin layer. Then use a good coverage product. If you apply a sheer coverage product this thinly, it will cover anything, and your skin won't look flawless. Use good coverage, but minimal amount. Then applied and unapplied areas won't show, yet coverage is achieved. And as I said, don't apply too much around the eyes. Eye makeup smudges, so I skipped applying it near them. So the cushion foundation is only for wider areas. I applied it to the center, just the larger parts. Now areas like the sides of the nose and under the eyes, they're tricky, aren't they? I'll only use concealer on these problem areas. Why not the cushion? I told you, apply thinly to prevent breakdown. If you apply a low coverage product thinly, it won't hide anything. That's why I suggested applying a high coverage product thinly, but these areas need stronger coverage than other skin areas. That's why I'm using a concealer. I'll use the same one from before. I'll use a brush to conceal these particular areas. And when it comes to loading the brush, you shouldn't load it like this. If you load it like this, see? It goes on way too thick. Wipe the excess off on the back of your hand until it's evenly and thinly spread on the brush. Then it will go on very thinly. This is really important. You have to load the brush properly to get a thin application. I'll do the same thing under my eyes. And apply a thin layer on any other areas that need coverage. If you have breakouts on the outer parts of your face like me, it can look messy if not covered, so just spot conceal with a good waterproof concealer. Then for dark blemishes, use a fine brush, just like before. I'll gently dot it on to cover them. It's hard if you try to cover everything with a fine-tipped brush from the start. So first, you blur them out with a large brush. Then you cover them with a fine-tipped brush. This is easier. Coverage is done. I did not apply anything on this side. See? Nothing transfers. It will come off here, though, as I used concealer. I didn't apply it all over, but on the front I used a thin cushion foundation, then a thin concealer layer just where needed. Because it's very light and adheres thinly to the skin, it won't easily break down. And even if sweat makes it fade, it won't be as noticeable. So in the summer, keeping your base light and only covering specific areas is really important. Now that the base is done, I'll set it with a spray. If you spray too much, it can actually make your base cakey and dry, so you need to adjust the amount based on how dry your skin is. For powder, I'm using Makeup Forever's Perfecting Loose Powder. It truly excels at oil control. It's been so hot lately, my skin gets really oily, and I've been getting a lot of nose oil. So definitely use setting powder on your nose where it gets oily. But if you're someone who sweats a lot, it's actually better to use minimal powder, except for on your nose and the center of your forehead. The forehead between the brows and nose get oily, so use powder there, but other areas sweat a lot, right? My upper lip also sweats a lot. If you apply too much powder, it'll get really clumpy with sweat. It looks really messy and touch-ups become difficult. If you skip powder, your base isn't set. So even if it melts, it's easy to wipe off and reapply, making touch-ups simple. Sweat makes touch-ups difficult. However, your makeup is strong against oil and water. So if you do your base really well, it can be waterproof and have good oil control. But sweat is basically warm water coming from inside your skin because of your body heat. Makeup directly removes it, making touch-ups unavoidable. Adding powder makes touch-ups difficult, so it's best to apply makeup that allows for easy touch-ups. So use minimal powder with a setting spray, and there are various types. This is a primer-like setting spray with pore blurring effects. There are also more matte fixers. Choose one that suits your skin type. It's good to set your makeup with a setting spray like this. If you don't sweat that much, you can do what I do and apply powder after the setting spray. Then it will be very strong against heat. My cheekbones have texture and get oily, so I will powder there too. If you sweat a lot, skip contouring. It's always best to keep these outer areas clean and untouched. If you use too many makeup products, it can look messy when you sweat. A bare face is better than messy makeup, right? With that in mind, just skipping it and keeping it clean is best. But what if you hate stickiness here, and hair sticking to your face? And what if you don't sweat much on the outer parts of your face? Then get a good amount of powder on your contouring brush and mix it directly with your contouring product. So I'll do contouring and powdering at once, simultaneously mattifying and adding dimension. And I'm going to use my contouring product to lightly color the blush area as well. It's perfect for summer. You get that slightly tanned look. Next, for nose contour, I'll use liquid. Liquid formulas last longer and don't come off easily. They're easier than powders. I'll use JAVINDEFEOUL. This one is a bit dark, but if you apply it with a round brush like this, you can get a lighter application. No brush, just fold a puff, dab it, and apply it. Because it's dark, I'll spread it on the brush, apply it to the tip of my nose. Tap, tap, tap. I did the powder first explaining it, but do this before the powder. That way it won't streak. Do this, then powder over it. From the inner corner of my eye, I'll go deeper in a C shape to create more depth. Sweat can make it fade fast, but Javin de Sol's eye primer has great staying power. Next, I'll pat it in with a puff and a little concealer. When you're blending out contour like this, use concealer. Cushion foundations are runnier, right? Dabbing them can actually wipe it off. That's how thinner formulas are. You need to dab with a thicker, less watery formula to get the perfect blend. I'll dab it on with a concealer brush. I actually prefer using a brush over a puff. Okay, after blending, now for blush. I highly recommend About Tone's Skin Layer Fit Blusher. It has a concealer-like feel, providing some coverage when applied. It doesn't apply thinly like a stain, but rather covers the skin much like a concealer would, so the skin coverage doesn't easily wear off. The blush looks cleaner, and its lasting power is good, making it great for summer. But if you apply too much, it can look a bit heavy. The formula is on the heavier side, you know. It's not a lightweight formula. I chose the color Toasty Fig. I'm going for a nude color like this to match the summer vibe. I'll put it on the puff's bottom and apply it diagonally. Just pat it on the areas you want. I applied a lot of coverage here, right? Still, it won't rub off. It layers on cleanly, letting you apply blush perfectly. In the summer, redness flares up, and it's easy for your skin to look messy, isn't it? So it's great to use a concealer like blush with good coverage like this. Don't want to buy another product? Try mixing your concealer with a lip tint, lipstick, or any lip product you have. Mix it with concealer, you'll get a similar result. I want a slightly sun-kissed look, so I'll apply it diagonally upwards. A blush like this on the bridge of the nose looks so good in the summer. But if your redness is super severe, as I said, mix concealer with a lip product to create a color, then apply it like this. It gives some coverage as it goes on, so it's better than just applying blush. But if your redness is really severe and your face gets super flushed, it's best to skip blush when you're outdoors in the summer. You have your own natural blush, so let's just skip it. And I'll connect the color to the tip of my chin and nose. Then I'll use the top of the makeup puff with the concealer on it to tap and blend. In summer, for freckles or sunspots, just let them show. It suits you really well. So pretty. You don't need to stress covering everything. It just suits it so well. Next, I'll do my brows. After drawing my eyebrows like I usually do, you guys said you wanted to see a thicker eyebrow design, so I'll draw them about 1 millimeter thicker. After drawing my eyebrows, I'll use the famous magic sealer to coat them. The ends rub off easily when you sweat. This really helps them stay put. I apply it to the ends. It coats them so they really don't smudge. Now for eyeshadow, I'll use a liquid formula. Powder formulas are prone to fading due to sweat and oil. And in summer, if you apply too much eyeshadow, it can easily make you look heavy and hot. So to avoid looking too heavy, I'll add just a touch of shadow and color. I'm using this liquid type from Javin de Sol in the shade Deep Coral. You know that simple shadow look? You could just use a brown or ashy shadow color, but I wanted to add a bit of color on top of the shadow for a brighter look, so that's why I chose this one. Having some reddish tones makes you look more vibrant, so I put some on the back of my hand and then rub it with my finger. That way it spreads really evenly. I'll apply it mainly to the outer and inner corners. You can apply it all over, but doing it this way gives a bit more dimension. The downside is that it dries really fast, so don't hesitate, just blend it right away. Focus on the outer and inner parts, just using remnants for the middle. Tap tap. You know, it varies by eye shape, but you just need a hint of shadow when your eyes are open. If you apply it too wide, when you open your eyes, the shadow should be visible here, but if it's too high up, it'll look really puffy. So you need to find that height where it's just barely visible when you open your eyes. You have to open them and check. It varies per person, so avoid applying it too broadly. To avoid a puffy, failed look, apply it thinly, not too wide. And if it's already dried before you could blend it, you can just fix it with concealer. But if too much concealer is on it, it won't erase. It'll just smudge everywhere. Just use the remaining product. For the puff, use only the residue on it. Then, once dry, lightly apply the leftover powder on your brush. The leftover powder from when you did your face will add another coating. Sweep lashes once, using leftover product. This absorbs oil, preventing smudging. For the under eye area, just use the remaining amount. Too much powder can settle into creases. For eyeliner, I'm using the long-lasting liquid Clio Super-Proof Kill Brown, Cacao Brown. I chose this color as it suited my tones. For the liner, use a liquid type if possible. It's oil-resistant, so even if it smudges, it's less messy than gel type. Gel eyeliner smudges badly. You'll get panda eyes. And some liquid formulas, if you choose incorrectly, can have powder fall off. It just looks so messy. Clio makes really great liquid liners. Etude is good too. For lighter liquid liner, Colorgram. Those products don't have any flaking. They're really long-lasting too. After drawing a liner like this, I'm going to use this gel-type eyeshadow. This is Molten Americano. It's not just a regular eyeshadow. Its jelly-like texture means there's less powder fallout, and it truly boasts superior longevity. So I'll use this texture to soften the eyeliner. If you use this jelly-like texture by itself, it will smudge. So first draw the line with a liquid formula, then apply this on top like a coating to prevent it from smudging. If you use this alone, it'll smudge. I'll apply it in a zigzag motion just below the liner to soften and blend it out. So I've blended out the top to make the eyeliner look a little softer. Next, I'm going to use an eyelash curler. When it's hot, lashes can fall flat, right? First, curl your lashes as usual. Then, you know that clear mascara? A mascara fixer works too. Just apply a small, thin layer. Don't put on too much. Then, before it dries, quickly curl your lashes one more time. You need to do this before it sets. When you apply clear mascara, your lashes get a bit stiff, right? If you recurl them while they're stiffening, they'll just set that way. This makes the curl hold really well, but if you wait too long to curl after applying, your lashes will be stiff and stick to the curler. They won't detach easily. Forcing it might pull out or cut your lashes. So you must quickly curl them before they dry. This really makes the curl last. When I curl my lashes, my waterline shows well, so I'll draw closer to it. I filled in the waterline. For lashes, I'll demonstrate two methods. On this side, I'm just applying false lashes without mascara. Skipping mascara is great because your eye makeup won't smudge and stays neat. If you apply a defined style like this, you won't need mascara. These are the Philomili Daily individuals. I'm just going to place them in between my own lashes. I'm spacing them about 1 to 2 millimeters apart, placing them quite close together for a more defined look. I applied them like this. See how natural and defined it looks? To make the curl last, you can finish with clear mascara. Since it's clear, you don't have to worry about smudging, and it helps blend your natural lashes with the false ones, which actually makes them look more defined, but you don't have to. And you might not want to wear false lashes. On this side, I'll show you how to apply just mascara. There's really no special method to it. Just add a mascara setting spray. Clear mascara or a mascara setting spray, either works. The order doesn't matter. You can apply the setting spray first, then mascara, or mascara then the setting spray. But if you want a cleaner application, I recommend applying mascara first. And applying the setting spray last is a good idea, because it's best to first make your lashes tidy with mascara, and then apply the setting spray. Those of you who watched my previous videos will know, but when I was in New York, I didn't bring any mascara setting spray or clear mascara with me. My eye makeup lasted less than 30 minutes. It smudged. I realized the importance of setting spray again. Normally, I'd always make sure to apply setting spray so it never smudged. After applying mascara like this, I'll apply the setting spray. Clear ones should be applied before mascara, because the clear type can dry whitish, so those products should be used before mascara. This one here, however, is a brown color. Colored mascara fixer can be applied after mascara. This setting spray prevents mascara smudging. If your eye makeup still smudges after this, then there's another problem. Your lashes won't smudge. It could be your eyeliner or eyeshadow. Now for under eyes. This egg yolk makeup wears off faster in heat. I'll start with this stick eyeshadow, a method I've shown you many times. This Pro Touch one is a powder formula that comes out like chalk. It's like chalk, right? This is the stick gel formula I mean. It's a jelly texture, not just powder. This is Makeup Forever's Peony. This is BBIA's Angel Liner, Amuse's Lumi Beige. Unlike the chalky formulas, these are gel textures, so once dried, they set firmly and won't rub off easily. They're water and sweat proof. I'll apply this formula first, then layer an eyeshadow. Honestly, I like the Makeup Forever one the most. I found it's the most smudge-proof and long-lasting. I wanted to find a cheaper alternative, so I tried BBIA and Amuse, but I still think Makeup Forever is the best. It's truly powerful. Compared to Bibia, Amuse applies smoother and has better Aegyo Sol colors, so Amuse wins on color and application, but Bibia has stronger staying power. Anyway, I'll apply my favorite, Peony, under my eyes. Some get creasing under eyes, some don't. It varies. It can't be helped. It's just how you're born. But for those who experience significant creasing, if you desire a neat finish, it's better to avoid very bright colors. Bright colors make creases look more obvious. Using a more muted, slightly darker color will actually look cleaner. After applying it, it's good to blend it out with a brush. It can look a bit messy on its own since it might be clumpy. The glitter is quite intense. That's why I'm going to layer an eyeshadow on top. Rather than a bright color, I'll use Kuho's Sheer Nude. Then, I'll gently blend it out with a brush to tidy it up and make it look clean. Applying it only to the Aegyo Sol can look abrupt, so I extend it to the inner corner. Next, for the under eye's outer part. We've only done the front. For the outer part, I'm going to use a liner. An eyeliner like this lasts much longer than an eyeshadow, so I'll use Bibia's Nude Rose. I'll add some depth to the outer corners. For summer, using a liner is best. Eyeshadow fades quickly, so I'll apply this and again blend it with a brush. Just smudging it out. With the leftover, I'll shade the Aegyo Sol. Just using what little is left. And you don't necessarily have to do this, but I want my eyes to appear deeper today, so I'll also lightly line my lash line from the front to the middle. You don't have to do this. I just want a more intense makeup look. This makes my eyes look a bit more sultry. It adds more depth, so I lined my lower lash line. Next up is the eye sealer, of course. Do this, and it won't smudge. Outer corners, they smudge easily. Especially if your skin creases when you smile, it really smudges easily. Make sure to apply it to your outer eye corners, and if you're worried about your eyeliner, carefully apply it near your lash line, avoiding getting it in your eyes. Don't apply too much to aegyosal. It can crease more easily. Since it coats the skin, too much application can make it look wrinkled. Your skin can end up that way, so don't apply too much aegyosal. I think lower lash mascara would look quite good, so I'll put some on there as well. To prevent smudging, I'll just use the brown setting spray on my lower lashes, which subtly adds definition. I've applied the under-eye fixer, and it's also a good idea to put sealer on your eyelashes. Just a small amount. Too much can weigh down lashes, making curls droop, so just a little. But with setting spray, I don't really apply it to my lashes because the spray provides enough coating. And now I'm going to draw my lip line, using what I used for my lower lash line. Since it's an eyeliner, it doesn't come off easily. Bibia has a lip liner, you know. That one doesn't smudge easily either. I could use that, but since the color matches well anyway, I think I'll just stick with this. Let me show you this BBIA lip liner. It's really good. It won't smudge. Nudie rosy. I'll redraw it again. After this, you can just apply a lip tint. This is just my personal preference, but I want a stronger lip line, so I'm going to draw this on top. This is the Clio pencil liner in Vanilla Beige. I'll just define the line a bit more. I wanted to create a slightly bolder lip line like this, and for my lips, I prefer a blur lip tint in the summer. It's a matter of preference. For me, in summer, glossy lips with hair stuck to them are annoying. So I'm going with a blur type. My lips have a lot of wrinkles and dead skin, making blur types hard to apply, but Holika's blur lips are so well made. A stick like this is hard for wrinkled lips, but this one's great. Glossy formulas hide flaky skin better, of course, but it's not bad. My lips are a little dry, but it applies well. Oh, I'm using Nudie Butter No. 1. I like that a strong lip line makes my lips look bigger and more three-dimensional. And finally, setting spray. Spray it like this to set the makeup. If you applied neck tone up, it's also good to spray a little there. Ta-da! Contacts in, hair done. I'm wearing olive green lenses. Lastly, I'll apply highlighter, the same's Frosty Shell. Just a tiny bit. Too much, haha. This area holds up better, so I apply it here. Now for another spritz of setting spray over the highlighter. And there you have it, smudge-proof summer makeup. So I showed you a smudge-proof summer makeup look today. Did you enjoy it? It's only going to get hotter, right? I hope this video helps you then. Let's build an ironclad defense for our makeup. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I'll see you in the next video. Stay cool, drink water, and have a great week. Thanks.